Yes, my friend here has been discussing with me the issues of management. And as a result, I thought maybe let us look at management in a wider spectrum. Management has generally, for us who are working in the production environment, four major areas. We have to produce. We need to learn about production. How do we get our things produced at a reasonable price and at reasonable cost? Management deals with the financial aspects of the business. You cannot be manager unless you have an idea about financing. Because among the people who are under you is a full-fledged chief accountant or financial executive. You must discuss with these people issues regarding the investments, the financing, the salaries, the levels of costings in the factory. So you can't ignore. The third one is, of course, what you produce must be marketed. So you need to be a very, very enthusiastic man or woman to learn something about marketing. And marketing is a wide area because it is not production per se, but is how do you market it? Not so much because you put it on a lot of results, but how do you package it? How do you make it attractive? And if you made it attractive, have you done that at a good cost? You need to look at your costing and see that you just don't create a glamorous product when it's costing you more than you're earning for it. Then as management, we have the most important element in management, and that is the human resource. Never ignore the management of the human resource. Technology has gone a long way. All of us are prepared to use that technology, but behind all the technology is the human brain and also the human decision making as to which alternatives within the industry or within the organization you should take, which would be able to lead you to profitability and a prosperous company. Some people believe that if you read a degree and all that you need is just to know how to sit in an office and command, I used to ask them, what are you commanding? Unless you know what you're doing. Unless you can discuss with your colleagues whatever pertains to their department so that you can advise and they can also advise you and you take decisions accordingly. I have been fortunate to have worked in different environments. Initially, of course, as a teacher and as a trainer of managers in an institution which we set up. I was fortunate to work in a big local government where I really dealt with a lot of money, and I was able to be in charge of all the financing of projects and services within that area. I've been fortunate to rotate within various industries in Uganda and of different sizes, be they textiles, beer, cement, properties, financial institutions like National Social Security Fund, and sometimes I want to boast and say, at the time, I thought I was the best manager in Uganda. But I know what made me successful. I was lucky that I was a good student. You send me to an industry which I've never been in, I was prepared to learn. Sit down and learn about that industry. Read books, as many as you can, on that industry. Learn the technology of that industry. Don't start solving problems for that industry unless you've really mastered the whole systems, all the systems that make it run. Utilize the human resource which is there. Ask them questions. Give them questions and give them quizzes to make them start solving, problem solving. Show the enthusiasm brain-wise that you make them now start thinking, yes, I think this is the direction. Yes, it can be done. Yes, that alternative will be better than the alternative we are using. All this is a beautiful way in which management can succeed in getting a few things done. In all these jobs and all these companies some of us have been in, all these institutions like schools and universities, and where we've been able to chair, be members of the boards and so on, one thing stands out: the human resource. If you know how to manage the human resources you have, see how best you can utilize them. Who would be suited for this or for that? You'll never fail. Because it's the human resource that gets things done. And what I've discovered is the fact that people work for people. Yes, we work for money. There's no doubt about it, because you can't work unless you're paid. But at the end of it, even if you're offered another job elsewhere with better money, you may refuse to go, because the current leader you have, as far as you're concerned, is the best leader you ever have. So you go and inform him, sorry sir, I can't go, because I still think that I want to work under your leadership. I think this is the way forward. Ugandans, I have always said to people, please, when you bring up your kids, please repeat the word mathematics, 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 mathematics. The only way you can succeed as a manager is always to think in terms of costs, costing, profitability. Would this help? Would this be able to push our industry forward? If you don't think about that, and all that you think is the mannerism of management, oh yes, I have to play golf at this time. Oh yes, you see, this is corporate behavior, because you must put on a suit every day, even if you're working in a cement factory. You don't do that. These things are nice and they're good because they give the image to the organization. But that's not necessarily management. The characteristics of management is the way they see you perform, including involving everybody within the organization, big or small. And apparently, you as a manager at the top, being anxious and willing to look at the smallest possible things that other people say, why does he do that? For instance, first week I go to an industry, or I used to go to an industry. The first day I go there, I say, take me around, I want to see the toilets, for instance, of the organization. Where do the workers go and where some of those facilities that make our people be able to feel proud of the organization they want. Where you can take a guest and the guest will say, yeah, this is a fantastic place. Those minor things which we call minor, but yet they matter. And they increase your productivity, your production, your feeling of wanting to stay in the organization, a feeling that you work there, but you matter. I'm going to add to this at a later stage my own experiences and the kind of problems that I faced in various industries and how we sat down together with everybody within the organization to resolve them. And they worked. It wasn't textbook reading that we went to the textbooks and started bringing in certain theories, but we took cognizance of those theories. We said, you could say, okay, the 20/80 rule. 20 is profitable, 80% will be useless. Even if you have workers 100%, the 8 of them probably will be fellow travelers. It's only the 20% that produce the profitability. Nevertheless, the 80 is wanted because they carry the organization. They do the day-to-day work, although for them, they don't make things happen. It's only the 20% that makes those things happen. You apply all those theories that you learned all over the place, and you modify them. I'll not go in detail about so many things that will be able to make you keep your human resource in the organization yet, because there are plenty. But we use just to say, in management, we must have an understanding of how we manage an entry of a worker in the organization. Management of entry. We need to devise a way. How do we keep these people going without people just being here a couple of months and they leave? Or even if they have been there 2-3 years, after getting all the experience that we've given them, they just go away. That's the management of stay. Then when they go, how do we treat them? How do we say goodbye to them? That's management of exit. These 3 things are very, very important, and I beg that every manager should always try and see how they can implement it within the organization in which they are. Thank you.